Buenos dias, Gunners Collective TV. Back at it, you already know. Like a torta with a snack habit. Buy up, buy up. We're going to get straight to the intro. This is a good one. Welcome back to Gunners Collective TV. And if you haven't already hit that like and subscribe button, make sure you go ahead and do that. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directing the direction of the dope content that the gun stays kicking. And I appreciate the support. I'm very humbled by it. So this is a good one, man. This is about Operation Red Rum, which not a lot of people talk about, which I believe is an ongoing investigation that needs to really be, you guys need some enlightenment. Especially those in the Salinas area that are out there functioning or doing their things. You need to really be enlightened because today or tomorrow can be your last day of freedom. And so if you're really out there rocking the way I know you're rocking or you choose to be rocking, then you really need to listen up. I'm going to drop some gems and here's some knowledge you can't get in college, especially for the Norteño brothers that are out there doing their thing in the salad bowl, right? Salad bowl business. I respect Salas. I got good partners, man, from Salinas. And I understand a lot of times in the city of Salinas, north and south, you know, you don't adapt to it. You're born into it. That's just how Salinas has always been, man. It's one of the cities besides San Jose considered a northern stronghold, right? We've always thought it that way. Growing up in the Central Valley, man, we always looked and were inspired by homies from Salas. They just carried themselves like what a Norteño was supposed to be, or what we assumed a Norteño was supposed to be. Years ago, there was an incident that happened, several incidences that happened that were all attributed to one group, the self-proclaimed murder squad. Okay. And when that happened in the city of Salinas, gang members, people that have been involved, people that have been in and out of prison were not surprised. This was just an incident that went down, something that happened. Circumstances deemed that these youngsters, man, took it upon themselves allegedly to go out there and were hunting, were handling their business. You know, we're basically trying to eradicate the opposition or those they felt who opposed their stronghold or their homelands, right? And, you know, as a Norteño growing up, that was always told to us. That was always one of the things that we were told. Never let the opposition, which the opposition being Southsiders at that time, come into your fucking backyard and set up shop. Now, it's happened. And it's not only happened, but in some cases, there's been cities that actually cities like Richmond, Vallejo that have been overthrown, where now the Southsiders are the majority. Yes, and that's just the way it is. And it wasn't because Norteños were punks or scared or got ran out of their cities. It was because they had their eyes closed. They were rocked to sleep. They were not paying attention. They were too busy doing red on red or getting involved in other shenanigans, or the real ones were putting in that work and getting locked up. And the other youngsters that were out there were not handling their business. And so dudes were able to establish, set up shop. It's all good. It is what it is right now. This murder squad from the city of Salinas and the surrounding areas, they got caught. They got caught, man. They were accused of several murders, several attempted murders. And, you know, the details that were put out there in the court documents and to exactly how these guys were doing it was a trip. You know, I remember reading the paperwork on it. And these guys were going out in convoys, very strategic, very militant. It was not something that was taken lightly. It was something that was really happening, right? And that was the hunting of the opposition. Cool, right? Shit happens. But the beat doesn't stop. Since then, and when that was going on, there was an operation by the feds that was put, and the local gang task force and task force from all around the state of California called Operation Red Rum that's just now coming to light. And they didn't stop with the initial people that they arrested. See, when we heard about the murder squad back in the days, it was 6 or 7 dudes. They got arrested. There were some Usos involved. They tried to say there was some collaboration between the North and some Usos, man. That's not to be spoken on. It was what it was. But what I took from it was they got them. Guys got caught. They're going to do all day. We're going to see who tells. And that's that. But it didn't stop there. Just recently, man, there's been more convictions. There's been more guys, and they continue to lock people up and have put out that they're going to continue to lock more people up behind this. Now, it's crazy because when you come from a city like Salinas or, Gonzales which is Gonzal or Greenfield or, there's King City, all those cities in the bowl, gangbanging is natural. It is what it is. But this is a perfect example of just being associated or affiliated or a part of something. You can find yourself snatched up and do life because of the association. Now, I'm not here to poison anyone or turn anyone against what you're doing. I'm saying do it with caution. Do it with the understanding you're being watched. Do it with the understanding that people are going to tell on you. There's people that are literally out there right now working with the feds to get all gang members eradicated and everybody off the streets. Now, I'm not for gangs. I'm not pro gangs. I'm not anti-gangs. I'm not none of that. I live that lifestyle, so I kind of know what's up. I understand when you're a youngster, man, and it looks very provocative. It looks good, man. You see the flashy, the money, the jewelry, the homies, the chicks, the cars, everything that comes along with it. But what you don't realize at that time is you don't see the time, the anguish, the suffering, the hopelessness. Your family having to fucking figure out how they're going to get to go visit you, how when your family drives all the way several hundred miles to go visit you because you're shipped to a facility or a prison that's far away, because that's what they do in the state of California. They like to ship you away. And then your family gets there and finds out that you guys are on modified program or lockdown, and they spent money on a hotel room and they spent money on gas and they spent money to rent that car or whatever they do. And the guys that are putting their old lady through hardship, knowing it's a struggle already for her to pay her rent and to take care of your kids, right? Because you're not there to help her. And she's putting money on your books and she's doing what she can. And she drives all the way up there because that's that little hour or 2 hours of hope that she has to sit there and talk to you to keep your relationship going. And she's turned away at the door because she got the wrong pair of pants or shirt on. She has to run to Walmart and get take them jeans off. And there's just a lot of hardships and a lot of struggle that your family goes through with you. So you have to think about all these things. But these are not the things that are put in front of you or told to you when you get, set up to gangbanging. Now, with this murder squad thing, there was a lot of people affected. The whole city of Salinas and the surrounding areas were affected. And as I'm going to show you a video right now of exactly what's going down, the only reason I'm doing this video is not to shed light on the past convictions and what happened with them guys, because it was all for nothing. 6 individuals went out there hunting and they're trying to include everybody that was associated. Now, see, that's what they usually do. They arrest the hitters or the people that they allegedly believe done this. And now they don't just stop there. Now they're arresting family members that aided and abetted. They're arresting dudes from the neighborhoods that they felt, maybe looked out and gave them a fucking place to stay. They're arresting everything and everyone. And according to what this video is going to say that was put out recently, they're not done. They're not stopping. That means if you're out there in the city of Salinas or anywhere flamed up with your red baño or even a Southsider, because what happens is they go yin and yang. They go back and forth. They'll hit the Northerners, then they'll hit the Southerners, then they'll hit the whites, then they'll hit the blacks. And this is what happens. There's always some type of RICO or there's always some type of operation going down. Anyways, this is Operation Red One that has to do with the murder squad. I'm going to drop this video. Listen to what they say, man. This could help you if you're really out there in the mix to get the fuck up out the way for a while, because you could be the next one on the next one smoking. Facts.
The Monterey County District Attorney's Office says they are working to prosecute more members of a self-proclaimed murder squad that was based out of Salinas. They claim that they were responsible for 11 murders and 17 shootings across the city, stretching from 2015 to 2018. Multiple agencies have collaborated on the investigation: Salinas PD, the DA's office, U.S. Attorney's Office, and the FBI. All are playing a role in the investigation and the prosecution. 6 members so far convicted of federal charges. Another man pleaded guilty this week, facing life in prison. Another 5 sentenced last year to decades in prison. 4 others convicted in Monterey County have also been given prison time. Action News 8 reporter Brooke Kinnebrew has more on the case, live from the DA's office.
Dan, the DA's office is prosecuting 7 additional members of the murder squad for attempted murder and murder. And Salinas police tell me they are currently investigating more people who they think may be involved.
From 2015 to 2017, members of the self-proclaimed murder squad, of which 17 have been identified, terrorizing the city of Salinas, killing 11 people and injuring 17. targeting and killing rival gang members and innocent people to be formally accepted into the Norteño gang. LULAC President Chris Barrera remembers the impact those killings had on the city of Salinas.
It was wild, and it seemed like there were shootings and murders all the time.
6 members have been convicted on federal charges for racketeering and conspiracy to commit murder in the aid of racketeering. They all face life in prison. 4 others were convicted in Monterey County and sentenced to life in prison. On Thursday, the Monterey County District Attorney's Office announced that they're prosecuting 7 additional members for murder and attempted murder. The DA's office saying if there is proof beyond a reasonable doubt, they will pursue charges within the county against those charged federally as well.
We are fighting every day to bring some closure and some justice for victims. We work very hard to make sure that victims are informed and heard.
Detective Ganson with Salinas Police has been working on the case known as Operation Rder for years. He says they are actively looking into more people who may have been involved in the killings and anticipate more charges.
We have ways of protecting people, and we would hope that people would come forward and provide information to help solve some of these.
Barrera says prevention is key when it comes to gangs and is calling for the community to get involved in the lives of local teens.
Sometimes it's just their environment that they're in. Sometimes they're born into it. Sometimes it's the crowd that they're hanging out with. You have to give them hope in life and let them know that there's another world out there. You know, you can go to college, you can go get involved in the trades.
So as you seen by that video right there, what I took from that is there are people out there that are willing to extend their hand to try to help with gang prevention. But at the same time, you know, this was a big case, and cases like this don't stop. Like that detective, man, he's been on this shit for several years and it's continuing. You know, anyone who was associated with that or they feel was associated with, they're going to put a case on you, you know, and it's unfortunate that something like this, and it was a big deal. I mean, as you can see, there was 11 deaths, 11 people killed. Now, I'm sure some of those deaths were attributed to this murder squad that probably had nothing to do with it. But that's what happens, man. You know, they start anyone who they feel was doing anything at the direct benefit of the gang, you know, they're going to fucking tie in. And they'll use anything that's been done in the whole city of Salinas with the Norteño movement or the Southsiders. In that case, believe me, the files are probably thick. There's boxes and boxes of files where any crime that was committed or someone caught a gang enhancement at the benefit of the gang, they obviously are going to use that. It's crazy. So when you sign up for this, you need to understand that a case that happened maybe years ago when you weren't even involved in the mix, when you didn't even know, you don't even know, you heard about it, you know, and a lot of people were puffing their chests. Oh, the homies did this, the homies did that. They were quick to throw the homies, when they shouldn't have been even speaking on it. But that's just what was thrown out there, right? Myself, I happen to know someone personally whose son was part of this murder squad who got convicted and got life in federal prison. And it's unfortunate, man, that that youngster was born into that. His mother and his father were both part of gangs in Salinas. That's all he knew. That's how he grew up. You know, there's a lot of people that put in work or decide to join a gang because they feel like they have no other options. They feel like there was no other avenue. That's why one of my pet peeves, one of the things I hate in life, right? There's 2 things that I hate more than anything else. The first one is lazy people. Can't stand them. Never been able to stomach them. You know, lazy people to me, man, if you have no hustle, no motivation, no grind, I can't fuck with you at all. I don't want to be around you because you're like a dead flower, man, and dead flowers kill good flowers, right? It's just, I just don't like it. You know, when you got a dead plant, it's going to kill the plants around it. Those who grow weed, they know what I'm talking about. And the second thing is parents that are living the gang life actively or were in the mix that dress their little babies up like gang members and think it's funny and laugh about it and don't give their kids no other options. You know, perfect case in point is, you know, one of my family members a while back that passed away. And I grew up watching him as a kid. You know, he grew up. I was already an adult, but I used to see him, the way he was dressed and the way his hair was cut and how he was laughed, you know, when he danced, when he did little Huelga bird dances and northern stuff. Like, it was always funny to everyone. It was never funny to me, and I never wanted to see it, so I would just walk away. Now, I did get at his parents like, hey, man, that shit ain't cool. but you know, you can't teach anyone. You could reach one to teach one, but you can't tell anyone how or what to do with their children. But it was unfortunate. And what happened to him? He ended up getting in the mix, and he ended up getting killed by his own people in jail. Unfortunate as it was, I seen something like that coming in his life. And maybe that's what it was going to take for his family to realize, like, man, maybe what we're doing is wrong. Anyways, with this murder squad thing, the reason I wanted to do this video is to let everyone know out there in the city of Salinas that they do have an ongoing investigation. It is out there. And if you get caught up, they will use the prosecution of the murder squad in your case. You know, so if you're out there functioning, doing your thing, man, just be aware. I know motherfuckers are on their toes. I know they don't need some dude from Merced telling them what's up, man. But I'm going to continue to do so because I feel these are the type of videos that are beneficial for the raza. The heads up. You know, not the necessary, you need to quit gangs now and do all that. Hey, look, man, I'm not here to be your savior. I'm not Captain Save nothing, right? But what I am is a concerned citizen that that lived that life, that went through a lot of the hardship, that wants to see people not go through what I went through. You know, I'm not going to sit here and say what you're doing isn't for the benefit of you. And if you're a true believer and a firm believer, then do your thing, man. You know, you must defend your lands. I believe that and I get that. But we need to come together as people and defend together, not against one another, because all you're doing is killing off someone who looks just like you. And it's unfortunate, but it continues to happen. So anyways, with that being said, just another quick video that I wanted to throw out there, man. I appreciate all the support that I've been getting. And I know lately, man, there's been a big old fuss, big old mix, people going in on doves, myself, back and forth and all that shit. Those get old after a while. Those exposure videos, that fucking clapping back, the victim mentality shit. Look, I'm here to say everybody, you know, do you. If it's going to make you money, if it's going to help you to fucking sleep better at night, you know, if that's just what you're into, trolling people or talking shit, well, get it. You know, just don't play the victim role when the get backs is real. That's all I got to say with that, right? But those videos do get old after a while. So I'm going to keep dropping more videos like this and real shit. Anyways, with that being said, I hope I gave you guys some game. You know, I didn't know nothing about Operation Red Rum. I knew about the murder squad. I've done videos in the past. And like I said, I know someone's family members who were directly involved as far as their kid was. But I never knew that they had an operation. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot more operations going on right now as we speak. It's a trip. With that being said, thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle, and strive for what I truly believe in. And that's the betterment of all people. Again, for you active gang members that are going to say, damn, gun, you're poisoning the gente. I'm not trying to poison no one, bro. I'm trying to give you vatos a heads up so you don't do life. Because life sucks in there. Life is beautiful out here. The gun.